Hello, Morongo Basin, and listeners around the world online at Z107.7fm.com. Here is the Z107.7 local news for Wednesday, May 13th, 2026. A report of a burglary in Pioneertown led to 2 arrests. On Saturday at around 6:15 a.m., San Bernardino County Sheriff's deputies responded to a report of a burglary near the intersection of Pipes Canyon Road and Curtis Road. Deputies say that the victim called in the burglary, saying that suspects were forcing their way into the home and a nearby shed. Deputies responded to the home and contacted the victim. Several hours later, deputies contacted 2 suspects at a nearby home in the 53,000 block of Pipes Canyon. Dennis Statler, 48, and Monique Rodriguez, 47, were identified as suspects and were both taken into custody. Dennis Statler was arrested on suspicion of first-degree burglary and is being held at the West Valley Detention Center on $100,000 bail. Monique Rodriguez was arrested on suspicion of first-degree burglary and is being held at the West Valley Detention Center on $100,000 bail. The 29 Palms City Council gave outgoing city manager Stone James a proper send-off at last night's council meeting. Citizens also expressed their concerns about flock cameras and license plate readers installed at intersections throughout the city. Reporter Heather Clisby was at last night's meeting and joins us with this report.
There were plaques, handshakes, and statements of gratitude at last night's 29 Palm City Council meeting as City Manager Stone James bid farewell to his position, calling it a blessing. James resigned April 9th due to family considerations and will leave the position he took on in March 2024. Kevin Cole will step into the position next week. As public comments opened, Mayor Mintz noted letters received from residents opposing the contract and the use of flock cameras within the city. On the topic, resident Diana Rosendahl offered an observation on a recent press release issued by the Sheriff's Department.
But when a public agency issues a statement, we should be able to trust that it's informational and not persuasive. This one was not. It reads less like a public safety update and more like a product advertisement for flock. The report editorializes, calling flock camera technology critical and stating that it may have inevitably saved the victim's life. May have inevitably is not the language of a factual police report. It is the language of marketing. Our community has legitimate, ongoing concerns about flock system, concerns about warrantless mass surveillance, about where our data goes, how long it's retained, and who can access it. When the Sheriff's Department uses a press release to frame those concerns as obstacles to public safety, rather than engaging with them honestly, that's a problem.
Councilmember April Ramirez suggested a study session or discussion regarding the concerns of our constituents of flock, which was seconded by Councilmember Octavia Scott. Though the flock contract was set to expire in December, it will be pushed into the second quarter of 2027, according to James, per the Sheriff's Department. Reporting for Z107.7, I'm Heather Clisby.
Deadlines loom for local schools, and the future of Landers dirt roads are on the line. Annalise Kuiper brings us this update from a recent Landers Homestead Valley Association meeting.
The deadline for emails and letters to the San Bernardino Board of Supervisors regarding the Landers Special District's road maintenance property tax increase is Thursday, May 14. If you want Landers dirt roads to be graded and maintained in the future, urge the supervisors to vote yes on adding the Landers Special District's road maintenance to the May 20 start of the mailed ballot election. To reach all the supervisors at once, send an email to boardmeetingcomments@cob.sbcounty.gov. Several local schools are being considered for closure, and Landers Elementary is one of them. Vadim Altshuler and several representatives from Save Morongo Basin Schools, SaveMorongoSchools.com, gave a presentation calling for transparency before any school closures are mandated. The MUSD Enrollment Committee will hold a meeting on Wednesday, May 13, 2026, to decide upon the recommendations to be given to the school board on June 9. Parents, teachers, and interested parties are encouraged to attend this all-important enrollment committee meeting. Reporting for Z107.7 News, I'm Annalise Kuiper.
Thank you, Annalise. With more on tonight's Morongo Unified School District Enrollment Committee meeting, here's online news editor Robert Hayden.
The Morongo Unified School District's Enrollment Committee is sure to face another packed house at tonight's meeting in Joshua Tree. The single item on the agenda, deciding what the committee should recommend to the board regarding surplus property owned by the MUSD, should the properties be sold, leased, swapped, or held as is. The task is held over from the last enrollment meeting where the committee decided on the 3 scenarios they would recommend to the board regarding school closures. The first scenario involved keeping all the elementary schools open, the second involved closing Landers Elementary School, and the third was closing Palm Vista Elementary, pending a possible geologist review of earthquake faults in the area. The meeting is expected to have plenty of parents, teachers, and faculty speaking up during the public comment period, too. The meeting begins tonight at 6 p.m. at Joshua Tree Elementary School, located at 4950 Sunburst Avenue in Joshua Tree. Reporting for Z107.7 News, I'm Robert Hayden.
The Yucca Valley Airport District Board of Directors meets in regular session this evening. On their agenda is an audit of accounts, resources, and assets. The District Board of Directors will consider funding they receive from the town of Yucca Valley, and the board will discuss weed abatement and tie-down chain maintenance. That's all happening tonight at the Yucca Valley Airport District Board of Directors meeting at 6:30 p.m. at the Yucca Valley Community Center. The Copper Mountain College District Board of Trustees is holding 2 meetings tomorrow. At their regularly scheduled meeting beginning at 3 p.m., the board will review their education master plan. They will also review new administrative procedures regarding student records, attendance, financial aid, and more. They will discuss the summer session and the holiday schedule for the next school year. After that regularly scheduled meeting, the board will reconvene in special session. They will focus on a yearly review of the board's student members. These meetings of the Copper Mountain College Board of Trustees kick off tomorrow at 3 p.m. at the school's Bell Center Community Room, located at 6162 Rotary Way in Joshua Tree. And finally, the town of Yucca Valley announced that their annual Independence Day fireworks display will be happening a day earlier this year. Clayton Raridan, supervisor with the town's Parks and Recreation Department, announced that the fireworks show will be held on July 3rd. Typically held on July 4th at Brem Sports Park, the event will also switch locations due to the ongoing construction of the Aquatic Center. Raridan made the announcement on a recent episode of the Z107.7 Up Close show with host Gary Daigneault.
With the construction for the new Aquatics and Recreation Center at Brem Park over by Tri-Valley Little League and the Boys and Girls Club, we've lost a lot of parking. There are just a lot of other challenges with that site during the construction.
It's a construction zone.
Right.
Yeah.
So we made arrangements, have worked with the school district on using the high school stadium, which is historically where the fireworks were shot for a very long time. So we're back at the stadium for one more summer, and the contractor that we use for the fireworks didn't have a pyrotechnician for the 4th to come out to Yucca Valley, so we're going to be doing the show on the 3rd this year.
Okay, so make sure there's enough technicians.
Yes, national shortage. It's a big challenge, especially in such a population-dense location like SoCal.
Raridan confirmed that the town would once again use Pyro Spectaculars as the fireworks vendor in 2025. The town of Yucca Valley's July 4th fireworks show was delayed by several hours and significantly shortened. At the time, the town said they were, quote, deeply disappointed with the event, but that they would continue to work with Pyro Spectaculars to ensure that the show would have a successful return in 2026. That's our local news. Hear local news 7 times a day, 7 days a week at 7, 8, 9, noon, 4, 5, and 6. If you hear about news happening, let us know. Email us at tips@z1077fm.com. Reporting for the Morongo Basin News Leader, the award-winning Z107.7 Local News, I'm News Director Jeff Harmatz.